Hello, welcome to OMAT Program. So glad that you're here. I want to tell you really quick why, one of the reasons why I use the OMAT program, why I started the program. Here is what change used to look like for me before I had a program, before I had tools. I would be like, oh my God, my life is about to change. Everything's going to be great. And I would do maybe a bunch of prepping or no prep at all, just dive into the most extreme version of the change. And then something would go wrong or nothing would happen. And I would quit almost right away. Here's some of the stuff that I learned. Number one, I expected change to feel good. I expected it to feel good the whole time. If I'm doing something healthy for my body, for my mind, for my spiritual being, whatever it is, I expected it to feel good the whole way. If I'm doing something good for myself, how could it feel bad? Well, all right, here's the second thing I learned. Change hurts. It doesn't feel good. No wonder people don't do it. I totally get it. Number three, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Really needing to understand that. Maybe look at it like a dance. When I step back, it's just another step. It's just one more thing that happens during this dance. And number four, if I'm tired, I learn to rest and not to quit. Listen, change is really hard, but it's totally doable. Let's pick up our tools. Let's get into our practice. Let's get into our present moment. How do you get into the present moment? Here's a little bit of time to experiment. Sometimes you can just look up. Because you look down at your phone all day, that is such a change and such a difference that you could feel it right away. If that works for you, great. However you get present, let's get into our first exercise here of gratitude. This is one of the ways to get present. This is one of the ways to see another route by changing your mind. If I'm always seeing the bad, actually seeing something I could be grateful for is the mind changing. Let's practice that, being in control of what we think about, of how we think, by looking for gratitude right now. Let's wrap for now. Finding water. That's what the practice looks like today. So here, as we're doing these exercises, we can practice being uncomfortable in the change. If I'm used to looking at life like this is difficult, I don't have anything to be grateful for, and then now I'm practicing gratitude, that change could feel uncomfortable. But because it's 1 minute at a time, we're giving ourselves a little cushion. Because we can just start it, we can look for one piece of gratitude. We're giving ourselves that nice, the little comfort that we can have from the discomfort of change. Let's keep going. Let's practice the change that's happening in our mind. You might be thinking of something constantly. Here is your opportunity to have control over what's going on in your mind. Even as you lose that control during meditation, you come back to it, and that raises that gives that muscle a little bit more energy. Let's practice sitting in any comfortable position, eyes opened or closed. Breathe. As we come back, let's find the water. And if you were able to interrupt yourself even for a second, that second counts because you can see that you get to interrupt you. And that's a practice. Let's keep going. Let's interrupt the thought by writing it down. Thoughts change when you put them down on paper. Thoughts change when you say them out loud. Let's experiment with any of the words, any of the thoughts. Don't worry about what comes out. Even if you're scared to write it, let's write through the fear right now. Let's wrap the sentence or the thought. Let's leave the sentence or the thought. Let's be satisfied with whatever we wrote down because it really doesn't matter. It is the practice of changing the thought into the thing that gets written down. So if you waited 50 seconds before you could even write one word, but you did it, that's today's practice. Let's keep going. Let's go into our bodies. If you could stand, stand. If not, do it from your seat, but stretch whatever you have access to stretch. We're going to walk through a sun salutation. And we're inhaling the arms out and up, reaching up, looking up. Sometimes I interlace my fingers and then push the palms towards the ceiling or sky. If you want to do that, that's fine. It's your practice. Fold forward and hang over the feet. And that's what I mean by your practice. If you want to make small movements that I'm not mentioning, do it. And halfway lift, flatten the back, look up. Let's get into our high plank. Plant your palms down, step your feet back. And in this plank pose, sometimes I hold it and that becomes my plank. For now, lower all the way down. Push your palms and look up. Let's meet in down dog, hips up into an upside down V. If you want to stay here for a few more seconds, that's fine. Or walk your feet forward towards your hands, maybe staying there. We're going to roll up when we're ready, meeting the palms above the head, exhaling them down to the center of the chest. Maybe waiting there for a moment. And we're noticing, because we're moving slow, because we are switching positions, we're noticing which one feels better, how we can come out of the pose a little bit easier or smoother. Either way, we get water. And maybe today you just did two. Excuse me. Maybe today you just did two of the exercises of the poses rather than all of them. And that's fine. That's what your body felt like today. Let's move into the plank pose. We're going to get into the plank pose in just a moment. First, we're going to get our mind and body ready and willing. How do you get ready and willing? You really can just say to yourself, I am ready, I am willing. And we're going to get into that pose in 3, 2, 1. We're planking now. That is what we're doing. Now, if we sit down, it's our prerogative, but we are going to be thinking about planking the whole time. So that's 10 seconds in. Instead of sitting and thinking about it, let's get into the plank pose. If today you need to put your knees down during the plank, that's fine. That's today. That's 20 seconds. Now, if you're up in the pose, but you had to come down for a few seconds, this is not the end. Get back up in there for the final 30 seconds. We're more than halfway done. Let's find that energy as it gets more challenging. How do you meet that challenge? Let's practice meeting it for 20 more seconds. Maybe we need a growl to come out of our face. If that's what we need, then we're learning that that's what we need. Let's see what it takes for 10 more seconds. We're at the countdown. Generate the energy. Let's use what we have left for 3, 2, 1, and you're done. There it is. Come down off your plank. Take your time to stretch your way back. Take some water. Have some credit. It's a very tough position to be in. And if you're sitting and got up and got into the plank pose, that's a big deal. That's the kind of change. That's when I say, like, change is difficult. I'm already over here and now I got to go over there. But you did it. Let's keep going. Let's break some procrastination. Basically, breaking procrastination is turning it from a big deal to a small deal, a manageable amount of effort. So if you're stuck and you can't go, that means it's not manageable. Let's break it down into a task that's so small that we can do it. That's the practice. Let's look for it and take it on right now. Let's wrap the task for now. Finding water. And the task really could be as simple as I refilled my water. And that's what I do because I know that it takes 30 seconds. And so I have a little bit of buffer, whatever it is. That's an experiment. Let's keep moving. Let's go into our connection minute because socializing is a habit. Socializing is a practice. We're practicing. We're saying hello to someone. We're looking for ways that we can connect. And even if we don't push the send button or we don't figure out exactly how or who to connect with, it's all right. We're going to use that muscle right now. Let's use it. Looking for some connection right now. Let's wrap the exercise for now, finding the water. And if you found some information by doing that exercise, maybe you didn't hit the connection fully, but that's the information you have, that's fine. Let's move on. Let's start our aerobics right away. Let's get into it. We're going to shake it off and our mind will change. Let's see what happens. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Exercise. Move that body of yours. We've been given this gift. Whatever you could move, let's exercise it. And that's 10 seconds in already. That's what 10 seconds feels like. Let's keep going. Making sure that you're breathing both in and out. That's 20 seconds as this gets more challenging. As time passes, let's see how we can use our energy for 30 more seconds. Now, if it's getting challenging, if it's hurting, stop. We don't have to hurt ourselves. But if we can keep going and it's our mind that can take us there, let's use it for 20 seconds. What can you tell your body to do? We're going to find out. As it gets harder, can your mind say, hey, let's get 10 more seconds? Let's figure this out together. Mind and body working together. I think we have 5 more seconds in there, right? 3, 2, 1, and we're done. That's what it looked like today. Great job. Thank you for taking OMAT.